Hello, hello. Welcome back, my friends and fanatics. Welcome back to the ODP. That is your Oddly Dodd podcast. This is going to be your ultimate hangout for all things sports, hobby, hype, and the fan life that you live and breathe. That's right. My name is Jason, and I'm here with my twin brother Josh. And every week we'll be diving headfirst into the crazy world of sports and all things collectible. We're going to have your jaw-dropping highlights, some insane fan moments, fantasy league drama, and even the collectibles you've been dying to get your hands on. Let's not forget, we want to see some odd stuff out there and the things you never knew you wanted until now. If it's got a crowd, a scoreboard, a collector's market, we're talking about it. Football, basketball, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, whatever it is that gets your adrenaline pumping, we are here for it, and we're here for you. Plus, we're going to be bringing in some fan stories, some hot takes, and some hobby hacks, and definitely a few wild debates along the way. Sprinkle some randomness in there, and as always, we're keeping it odd, because after all, this is the ODP, where there is no such thing as too much passion. So break out your jersey, crack a drink, and let's get this game day party started. Welcome to the ODP.
ODP. What's in the box? What's in the box?
What is in the...
Dude, I'm excited about the what's in the box today. Like,
I'm excited about the what's in the box.
What's in the box?
You know, it's... What is in the box? What's in?
Oh, shit. Oilers just scored. Oilers just...
That
1-1.
just happened.
Sorry. Just right now.
Sorry. We are filming this during a live game right now between Edmonton and Florida Panthers. Boo, 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 boo.
Eat it, Jeremy. They just scored. Booyah.
All right, J-Boy. That's right. We are not cheering on the Panthers, as you can tell. We're a little bitter by that loss from the Hurricanes, and we want Edmonton to go ahead and put the nail in the coffin here. Go win one, Edmonton. Let's do this.
All right. We need a Canadian team to take the game back. I mean, let's be honest. I mean,
that's true.
They haven't. A Canadian team hasn't won in so long. So it's like, let's go Edmonton. I mean, you know,
I'm for it. I need to start breaking out my Maple Leafs and bringing out the Canadian flag and everything. You know,
sorry.
Don't you know?
We love you. We do, but
we too. So what do we have today? We've got exciting talk actually about
big
news on pre-release, and you're really going to get a good idea on us geeking out about Magic the Gathering. The whole thing that really got us collecting.
Got us started. Like that was our first collectibles, I can say. Had to have been the
basketball card. The serious collectibles, when we actually started trading other people for things, and that's when it got serious.
Following the actual value, doing this, that's getting the time that we got into it. Yes, so
all that. Dude, you remember we used to have the book that we actually had to flip through, and you had to wait for it to come out, and then find the price guide and everything like that. Like
it was called a Beckett.
It was, that wasn't a Beckett. That was the Magic the Gathering, that book that we had.
Guide, but you get it. The Beckett is for all the other sports cards when they printed that stuff, and then you had to look through it. That was so wow. Thank you, technology.
I know. Yes, that's one thing really technology is I'm so grateful for, because the due diligence that you had to do was serious research.
I think it's fair to say that without appraising it or without getting actual professionals to look at it, I think a whole lot of the trading and the price of the cards maybe didn't soar because it became more heart and passion for the player or team rather than the knowledge of the card itself. You had to really do some research on it and to kind of get a grasp on it. But, you know, with technology, I think it's kind of
that's a good point.
Increase that.
You know,
I just personal thought.
No, I love the analysis from that outlook, honestly, because if you look at it back then, you're right. It was more gunned towards, I want my team, I want my player.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, it's a good reason of maybe why that in the 90s, and one of the reasons other than overprinting and everything of that nature, poor quality, a huge, there's so many different brands to get. There's so many different types you can get. There's just washed out.
Convoluted, and it was
in the 80s and 90s. They started sequencing the cards in the 90s, which really started to give it some more attention. And then you start to see these values really climb. But yeah.
But
So
real quick though, but I mean seriously, let's roll it back because this is like literally one of the biggest news that Magic has ever delivered. I mean, besides the
partially.
fact of like Hasbro when they bought them, that purchase was pretty big. I mean, it's really big. However, this one is one I would say in the top 3 currently.
Right, right. I can agree with that because,
Yeah.
we saw a
So fair.
huge bump when Lord of the Rings, right? That was a
Okay,
huge release.
fair. Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
This, I would argue, is bigger. I honestly like the buzz
Ooh.
and the
Ooh,
price
I mean,
point,
the price is how.
not for the one, right? The one ring, but overall across all of the cards,
Okay.
you know?
On average, it has more numbers. Like there's the top cards, there's 20 of them, or 19 actually, that are currently in pre-market value over $100. So when Magic the Gathering was, I mean, when Lord of the Rings was being released, there wasn't as many in the top tier of market value having 100 or more. It was really close though, if my memory does not precede me, but it was really close. And I think what took it away, obviously, because I think that one was the number 2 release in all of Magic.
Okay.
News wise. And it's because Post Malone got on board. He put a bounty out. $2.6 million
Yeah, we
was
talked
the
about that
actual
before.
transaction. That's just too big.
Right.
And this
We
one's not
talked
there
about that
because there's
before.
no bounty on any of them. And I mean the traveling chocobo or however you say it.
Chocobo.
The neon green is the one, just so everybody knows with the surge.
We'll go into that.
foil.
We're going to talk
Okay.
about the different
My
cards.
bad.
All right. But
Sorry.
yeah, you're already releasing some information. I'm excited about these cards because after
I'm
looking
geeking
at some
over
of
it
these
because I
top
mean
cards,
and they're like crazy
oh my
playable
gosh, the
cards.
gameplay is going to be it's going to be tough.
Okay,
Honestly, with
what
your
else are we
deck
covering?
building. Oh,
What
okay.
else are we
Oh, I'm
covering?
sorry.
Stop.
We're geeking out already. It's too
Yeah, I
exciting.
know.
We're gonna
Stop.
we're gonna talk about a little bit of the highlights with the NHL and the NBA as we're sitting here with the one game that's going live right now. So we'll have some live updates a little bit as you see earlier.
1-1,
And then
10:57 left in the first. Go ahead.
there we go. All right, let's go Edmonton. And then finally we're gonna do a what's in the box series today. That's a little bit longer than normal,
dude. Big
because it's exciting.
dude. Everything's big. Everything's big. I mean, we had Sparkle last time, but you have two hobbies of midnight.
Whoa.
We don't know what's in
Keep
it.
that lid on the box right now.
You don't know what's in it. We just like the last time we had the sparkles, didn't know what's in it.
No.
We don't know what's in it.
All right.
So this is big. So continue on.
Yes, I'm excited about it. So
am I.
All that being said, we can go ahead and get into the Magic the Gathering. So what we have now is the pre-release to the Final Fantasy edition of Magic the Gathering. And so today marks the date. And
Timeout. Edmonton just scored 2-1. The Panthers are down by 1. 10:41, first period.
Look at that.
Sorry.
Man, this
continue.
Is big games going on, man. I love it. Yeah.
Continue.
All right. Well, so for the pre-release, I'm actually a little disappointed that just getting back into town today, we were not able to get lined up for the pre-release party over at Triangle Cards.
Dude,
wish we could have made this.
That's your fault.
Whatever.
Yeah, you went out of town.
You could do your research too.
I did my research, but you were out of town.
You could have been there. You could have signed up.
Yeah, I know. Anyway.
I didn't know whether I was going to be there or not.
Continue, sir.
Anyway, what the pre-release parties are for, you get these special packs, these pre-release packs that get shipped out to these card shops before the larger packs and collectibles are released. And on these pre-release packs, there's some specials in there that are loaded. Really, with these, how the game's going to play, with the new abilities and the new creatures and what we're going to see, and it gives people the ability to start deck constructing and to kind of give them a feel for tournament play.
I think so as well. And I think these cards also, in all fairness, to jump in, I think it's going to have to stay within the Final Fantasy series because these cards are crazy. And they're, if not, they're going to be outlawed. A whole good number of them that are probably going to be outlawed in regular play or the different kinds of plays. So
they're going to have. I can only imagine they're going to be, because looking at some of these abilities, they're insane.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hold. I'm going to pause this real quick. So looking at some of these abilities, they've gotten kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So to kind of give people a little bit of a taste, I just wanted to pull up like some of the basic or the big. Let me roll that back. Just wanted to give a look at some of the top cards that are right now that are sought after. All right, we'll go down the list real quick.
Okay.
You mentioned one, the Chocobo.
Traveling Chocobo.
Chocobo. I don't know how to say it.
I like saying Chocobo, so it's Chocobo.
Chocobo. Okay.
Tomato. Who cares?
Take me to a place. Wait, take me to a place where I want to go. That's Chocobo.
Traveling Chocobo. Take me to a place I want to go.
Right.
Traveling Chocobo.
Oh, there's something there. I know it. We can build something with that.
Mm-hmm.
So number 10 on the list, we have the Jumbo Cactar, right? And this is a creature.
Yeah.
This guy is nasty. I don't understand how long this is going to be in play or how it can possibly be in the play. I don't understand it. Because to read you what this is, I mean, the Jumbo, it's a creature. It's a cactus. It has 10,000 needles, right? And it is a 1 power, 7 toughness. However, whenever this creature attacks, it gains a plus 9,999 plus 0 toughness until the end of turn, making it a 10,000 power animal creature. That's insane. You put some lifelink on that or something like that, you won't be killed.
Nope.
I mean, seriously. Not only that, but or you put death or trample on it, you just destroy everyone, right? If you could put any kind of like ability to it. But that thing right there is nasty. So that's like the number 10 card. That's not even your top card. And right now it's like
talk about top 10 playable cards, right?
Current playable cards. Now this release is all playable card right now in tournament play.
Well, yeah, in tournament play, but I mean, it's arguably going to be outlawed, just kind of like some of the other ones that it had recently gone. I mean,
right, and that's where you'll see the value, whether it increases or decreases. I can't imagine that this one. I can't imagine this one holding, but it is insane.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, the foil edition pre-priced, it came out like strong at $80, and it's kind of dropped over a couple days. Now you're looking at a foil for this guy. It's around $40, and the normal standard card's about $8. So if people look to like deck building, this is where you target those singles to build a really strong deck for tournament play. This is a guy. If you're looking for green, this is it. One of the guys that you could put in there. A little bit on the chunky cost when it still reasonable cost, but you know, a 7 mana cost is very reasonable.
7
for its
mana
ability.
is, for considering what you can do with it. 7 mana is, and you know, when you play Forest, you're running the risk of always having the high mana, just so anyone doesn't know how Magic the Gathering works.
Right.
One of the land features, you know, Forest features large animals with, you know, a lot of strength, a lot of toughness with a large mana cost. That just runs the risk of what you run with Forest. So continue.
Right. Not as aggressive. This is more of a slow player. It's just a slow play deck when you're loading it with a green deck, typically. Now, the Chocobo is I think it's a green, but we'll get to him. But either way, it's a little bit chunky. So 7 mana cost, you're looking at least, right?
I got something in my throat.
You're looking at 7 rounds, right? Yep. Before you can even get this into play. That a lot can happen if someone has a really aggressive deck. They can really hammer you out before you get to this guy, right?
You got to have an aggressive deck.
Right, to play against him.
Heck yeah.
Number 9, we move down to Primal Odin. All right, this is out of the black deck. And this guy right here is a creature that has a phased ability. All right, so after he enters and after your draw step, he phases out basically, right? So that's how these phased cards work.
Time out.
Phase 1.
Time out.
Yep.
Score update. Panthers just tied it up 2-2.
Man, this is an exciting game.
Okay, continue.
Hold on, I'm going to put this up on my corner here.
I'm keeping up here, so continue.
Okay. No, I love it. All right. So phase 1, guy comes into play. All right, we attack. You destroy the target creature and opponent controls. So not only does he attack, but it acts as an ability. You destroy another creature on phase 1. On phase 2, this creature, if he deals damage or combat damage to the player, that player loses. Doesn't matter how much life he has, any damage at all. So it's game over.
Game over,
if
man.
that happens to make to phase 3, game over, man. Game over. Phase 3, we have Hall of Sorrow phase, right? So this is you attack, draw 2 cards, each player loses 2 life, and then he gets sacrificed after phase 3. But still, after these abilities happen, then you're still drawing 2 more cards, so you're juicing your deck a little bit. We have number 8, the Darkness Crystal. This is an artifact, a legendary artifact. And this goes to the black deck because it costs black mana. Artifacts are typically neutral, but this one is a black deck one. So the black spells you cast are one less mana cost.
Correct you on one thing, though.
Okay.
I will say that they used to be traditionally artifacts was non-color oriented. Normally they were just an artifact. More so in the newer editions, it is very commonplace to see the artifacts being equivalently spread out throughout the deck now. So they do share a land feature. So more so, it's not the case where you can still have just a regular artifact, but it does share. Sometimes they lean towards certain colors now.
Right. However, in play, an artifact is still technically considered neutral. So, like, if an ability, like you have to sacrifice all black creatures, or mana cost. It's really linked to more of the black spells and casting. So, with that said, this allows your black spells to cost one less. If a non-token creature an opponent, like your opponent controls, dies, instead of exiling it, you can gain 2 life. So it juices your life back, and then for a big cost, for 4 mana and 2 swamps, you can tap it and put target creature card exiled with the Darkness Crystal onto the battlefield tapped under your control. So that whatever creature you just exiled, you bring it back with your control, and you add +1/+1 counter on that creature. So that's a pretty sweet little artifact right there.
Well, it comes out tapped at least, so you got the opponent has at least one try to get that thing out of there because you know what he's going to grab.
For sure. So if you're playing an opponent with a really strong creature, you can freaking yank that from their exile and table it with under your control. Like, that's awesome. And
it is.
Also, the good thing with that is the mana discount that you're getting from it. I mean, this is a pretty strong card.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you can grab whatever. I mean, and it could have 7 mana, but it doesn't matter. It's whatever that plays.
Right. And so the cool thing with this, the crystal artifact, there's actually, just like you were saying, there is a wind crystal, which is more towards white. There's an earth crystal that's towards the green, and then the water crystal that's towards the blue. So affecting each appropriate one. So those are pretty awesome artifacts, to be honest. All right. So then we got the Cecil, the Dark Knight. And this guy comes out. This is insane. He costs 1 swamp. He's another black card, strong one. He costs 1 swamp, and it is a 2/3 creature that only costs 1 mana cost.
Whoa.
That is insane.
So,
and normally a 1 cost is a 1/1, and that's about it, or a 0/1 or a 0/2, not a 2/3. And this guy has Death Touch. He has Death Touch.
Okay.
Death Touch, which means it doesn't matter if I have a 2 and I'm fighting you and you have a 7 toughness, doesn't matter. He dies after the battle.
Dies, yeah. For Death Touch. If it just touches you, then that creature dies.
Yeah. Now the bad side.
I'll say Cecil. Hold on. To jump in the middle of that, the borderless Cecil Dark Knight right now at pre-launch market value is at $104 for the Surge foil. So you only find the Surge foil in collector's packs. That's it. So just so you know, so you have to get the collector's pack to find the Surge foil, and they're running a pretty high price. But you can also get it online through different places and directly order.
Yeah, rolling back. It is amazing to see this guy with that kind of a cost. But also the bad side of this fella, the darkness. So whenever he deals damage, you lose that much life. So then your life total is, then the other part to this, if your life total is less than or equal to half of your starting life total, then you have to untap him and transform him.
Which is good because he transforms. That's a good thing. That's when you can. So when you work down your own thing, when you transform him, instead of Death Touch, it turns to Lifelink, and he's a 4/4 character. All right, so
that's right.
So he becomes even better, and that's where you gain all your life back. Obviously, it's the good and the bad. That's a wonderful card. That thing is sick. I love it.
That's no wonder why it's trending.
That's one I would.
I mean, that absolutely. This is awesome. So you flip that out after you do half of your damage on your life, then you build it right back up.
That's my style of play, though, is Death Touch and Lifelink. That's just me personally. I love Lifelink and I like Death Touch. Those are the two. And absolutely. I like the forest to have the trample included, but I'll go with black and white all day.
Absolutely. I love it. Number 6, we've got self-destruct. Okay, so do you remember back in the old day what people used to get a lot of were the lightning bolts?
Yeah, lightning bolts. You could get a
Flash
lightning bolt
lightning,
deck.
the flash
3.
lightnings or whatnot. It was 1 mana cost and it dealt 3 damage. Nasty card, right? And you could juice your whole
To
deck.
anything.
Now, granted,
To
I can't
you can do it
anything,
to
right?
anyone.
Right. And I think they made a limit on how many cards you could have of the same card, right? There you go, 4. All right.
That's right.
Well, this guy self-destruct, it costs 1 mana and 1, so it's a red, so 1 mountain. And when it brings, it's an instant, and this target creature you control deals X damage to any other target and X damage to itself, where X is the power. So you choose, like if you have a 7/7 creature, you're doing 7 damage to somebody else, but it also does 7 damage to him. Or if you have like a 5/6 creature, even better, it does 5 damage.
It's an instant.
It's instant.
Sweet.
Yes.
So you save that, and when they tap that cactus, boom, do instant right up against the opponent. Done.
That's right. That way it kills them and saves you from getting annihilated by those 10,000 needles.
Love it.
That's a strong card right there. Number 6. One of the best cards there right now. Let's
real
see
cheap
here.
Play
We have
too. Real cheap.
Very. I mean, that's amazing. We've got Fire Magic, number 5, another cheap one. It's only cost 1 red spell, or 1 red mountain
to do that. Yeah,
it is. They're normally smaller. They have a lot of synergy in their deck, I think, where they link to like all the goblins or all the mountain creatures.
Yeah,
You know, they really have a lot of connecting things that you have there. Well, this guy has 1 mountain cost, and it's an instant fire. It's 0 cost, additional cost. Now these are additional things. It's tiered. If you don't do anything at all, it deals 1 damage to each creature, which is
1 damage to
pretty
each
amazing.
Creature. Okay.
Each creature. If you
Time
tap
out.
2 more mana.
Time out. 3-2. Oilers take the lead. Continue.
Holy jeez, this is awesome game.
We got to turn this on. Like,
I know,
let's hurry this up.
Okay, so we've got 2. If you juice it with 2 more mana cost, this instant will do 2 damage to each creature. If you juice it with 5 more mana cost, it deals 3 damage to each creature. So we were just talking about the lightning bolt, or the flash lightning, whatever it was called. And this is it, except it costs way more to juice it, but still. So that's a total of 6 costs, but it does 3 damage to each creature. That's huge. You can clear a playing field like that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, you can.
So, and you think about that in a commander's deck. Oh my gosh, that would be insane.
Yeah, but commander's decks, there's a limited amount and very limited on play on what you're allowed to have in the commanders.
Well, I've never played commanders in my defense there, so I'm a little bit less knowledgeable there.
There's a lot of different styles of play. There's commanders, there's like historic, there's traveling, I know I'm thinking of, there's one other that I can't think of, but anyway, alchemy, there's alchemy. So there's a lot of different styles of decks, and there's different rules in between each of them. Continue.
Okay. We got number 4. Now, as I was mentioning before, like some of the features that you're looking for, mana cost, which happens, you can only play 1 mana at a time. So you have to have those, each turn, each phase before you can get things in play. And so really the key to a good deck is something that you can juice more land out there and more times without having to put 1 at a time. This is called Starting Town, which is a rare card. It's number 4 on the list. And what it does is it comes in tapped. And what you do every time you tap it, you can add a land to your mana pool. And if you pay 1 life, you can add a mana of any color. If you regular tap, it's just a white land. But other than that, if you have some spells in there that you need some other colors, you can search for those. So you can really get some fast land going on there. So some other cards kind of like that, the Black Clay Cliffs, the Botanical Sanctums.
Now you can tap that and add 1, but it is retired after it's tapped. You can only add 1 mana, correct? Or does it say that it keeps it?
It is a land, so you can tap it each turn.
So it's tapped. So it is 1 land. It counts as 1. Okay, it is not accumulative.
So then we have number 3. We have Tifa Lockhart, legendary creature. She is green. Now she is a 1 cost mana and a green, right? And one forest. She comes into play, and she is a 1 power, 2 toughness. She has trample and landfall. So landfall is whenever a land you control enters, you double her power until the end of turn. So every time that you start to put some forests into play, you double her power. Now you enchant her, you start to give her some counters on there, some +1/+1s. You can really get her beefed up pretty tough.
So she's
For a
cheap to
very
play,
cheap amount.
which means that there's instinctually land to come, because you're not going to sit there and do well with just 2 mana out on the board. So obviously early play, and each one that comes out, you're doubling it. So it goes to 2/4, which is great on defense. You're going to hold that defense. But yeah, great play. And this one is also one of those top 10 cards, not just for play wise, but for money wise. So in the money wise though, you have the pre-release right now listed at the Surge Foil, which is those pretty cards, again, only in the collectors, but you got pre-released at 230 right now. So great card on pre-release. Great card.
Absolutely.
But, it's in the top 7 of.
It is. And here's the thing is
price.
Okay. Well, and also you pair this in a deck with something like Titanic Growth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both are cheap cards. Altogether, you're looking at 4 total mana cost, and where the Titanic Growth adds a 4+4/+4 counter on her, and then put a land in play, it doubles that. All of a sudden, you can win in 3 turns. This is a really strong card. Yeah, a couple of her and Number 2, we got Zaz Chocobo. So this is the Chocobo, but this is a little bird.
Chocobo.
Not the Chocobo, but it's the little Chocobo. And this is the bird, and he is only 1 mana cost of 1 forest, and when it's landfall. So whenever you have a land that you control and it enters the playing field, you put a +1/+1 on this creature. So, and it's a counter. That means it stays. So he grows and he grows and he grows. He comes out with a 0/1, but boy, if you bring him out early, that thing can build so quick. Oh, I like him a lot. He's cheap to play. Man, you can load a deck with just some.
I think the birds might be a play in here. It's for the birds.
See what you did there?
I like it.
You load a deck with that. Say you have a mixed colored deck right there with forest, plains, and islands. You can get the Choco Seeker of Paradise, the Bird of Paradise here. He's also a legendary creature, a bird creature. And then it's whenever 1 or more birds you control attack, you look at that many cards from your top of your library. So if you have 5 of them, you look at the top 5 cards. You could put 1 of them in your hand, then put any number of land cards among those cards into the battlefield, tapped. That's insane. So if you pick up, if you attack with 7 creatures, you're picking up 7 cards and put all your lands in play.
Holy crap, dude.
Wow.
Holy crap.
That is,
dude, and if you pair that, what color is that?
So he is a mixture of forest, plains, and island.
First, throw that bad boy out with Tifa.
I'm telling you, Tifa lock. Yeah, this is all. I love the building on this one right here. My goodness. And then the number 1 card is Adventures Inn. It's a land and it's a town. This is unique. And all it is a land that sits there whenever it's not colored of any sort, but when this land enters, you gain 2 life. And then you tap it to add it acts as a plane. So just the fact that it comes into play and gives you 2 life, that's pretty significant. So you can add a lot of those lands. There's no limit to how many you can have, right?
Yeah, you can continue, but you got to really balance when you build that deck on how many lands you do put in the deck, though. So that's a balance.
Yes, you don't want to overload it with too many lands. Right. Yeah, no good there. But yeah, that's a really strong card too. But those are the top 10 cards right now that people are looking at. Now, all that said, we were talking about Mr. Chocobo.
Yeah, no,
right.
All that said, my personal favorite in the deck that I will be getting, Joshua's Phoenix Dominant.
Is there a reason to that, or is it just because
it says Joshua's? Because the name of the guy is Joshua. So Joshua's Phoenix Dominant.
What's he got?
When he enters, discard up to 2 cards, and then you draw that many cards, however many you discard. And then you can exile him and then return him, and he transforms. And when he transforms, he becomes into a enchantment that it's a staged enchantment. So the first 2 stages, or the first next play that you go first, it's going to enter in with the Rising Flames of the Phoenix, and it deals 2 damage to each opponent 2 times in a row. And then Flames of Rebirth, return as many number of target creature cards with a total mana of 6 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then exile the Phoenix. Then return it to the battlefield. It keeps on rising. I love it.
Man.
It keeps on coming into play. Joshua's Phoenix's Dominant. Love it. That's
annoying.
Right? How annoying is that? And it just keeps coming back and rising and does 2 damage every turn. Every
Such
turn
a
keeps on
Josh
going.
move.
That
Come
is so
on.
annoying. I love it.
God. They just
Yes.
keep pestering you and
It's
just keep
poking. It's
pestering
like
you.
you can have your 999 or 9,999 pricks. I'm going to keep on poking. Gosh. Okay. Anyway.
Well,
And
okay,
then the traveling
Joshua
chocobo.
Phoenix. The traveling chocobo. This little creature, he's a bird. So if you want to build a deck of birds, this is actually they've got some great creatures right now. So
Yeah.
the traveling chocobo, he's a little bit he's a fully grown bird already, right? So he's
Yep.
not like the mini one that builds. But this guy,
Traveling
I actually like
chocobo.
the little guy better. You probably get him at a better cost for sure, because this guy's $1,900 if you buy him outright.
Yeah. $1,900 right now on pre-sale.
Just the neon green one.
Which, hold on now, that's the neon green. Neon pink is 1,600, but both of those right now are over market value, which alludes to what's going to happen. We already know what's going to happen, guys. People are scrambling for these things right now. They are like flying off the shelf. We've actually talked to Triangle Trading Cards, and he has even stated himself that it's one of the best, fastest sellouts and one of the best sales that he's had since he's been in business.
Yeah,
And since
it's awesome.
I know it is great. So what's going to happen is this traveling chocobo that's going to go is once they're found, they're going to go right onto market, especially
Right. Look
the
for them to
neon
pop up.
green. Yep, neon ink. You'll know when you see it if it's neon. There are going to be traveling
Yeah.
chocobos out there, normal fire, normal cards, or even the surge foil. However, neon ink or neon pink, green ink or neon pink ink.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So
but
this
they're
guy,
cool,
what he does
real cool
do,
looking.
they're very cool. So the creature, it's a pretty low cost. It's 2 mana of any, and then a forest.
Yeah.
So three
Okay, so 3
total.
total.
He comes into play. He's a 3/2 creature, so good power. On the toughness, he's But when he comes into play, you may look at the top of your card. Well, no. So while he's in play, you can look at the top of your card at any time,
Top of your
which is
library.
awesome.
Top of your
Yeah, your
library.
library. I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
top of your library. Let me clarify. So you can
Mm-hmm.
look at your library at any time to see what's up there, right? Awesome. To know what's coming, right? So you
Yep.
can plan a little bit better. It gives you that look ahead. You may play the lands and cast bird spells from the top of your library. So if you
That
look
is
at
right.
it, you can play lands or birds, meaning you don't have to cost the mana on those. You just play them.
Yep. And so if
All
you
right.
keep, so you know you're guaranteed to keep on getting usable cards, because even
Right.
if it's a card, you could play it as long as you got mana that's tapped. If you keep on, you know how annoying it is when you get like 5 mana in a row just because of the shuffle?
Gosh.
Like that really harms you. So this card right here would circumvent that, and it would clean out your mana list and your bird play. So if you can keep on throwing those birds out, having you have mana, or you know what's next, I mean, it's a wonderful card.
Well, it's mana mining. I mean, you're just simply now you're skipping these phases that normally these people are one at a time. This is a super strong card. And then lastly, one of the abilities of this, if a land or bird you control enters the battlefield causing a
Yeah.
triggered ability. So if it's a unique ability and it triggers another ability on a permanent that you control,
So
like landfall, that doubles somebody, right? It triggers it an additional time. 2x2. That's amazing card right there. That is sick.
And it's a forest. So once again, you can pair this with, I mean, with the same set too, man. So you can still get
Right.
Tifa on there, and you can get the cactus, and you can get this. Just add up all this stuff, and you're going to have some power for days.
Right.
Unless you have Joshua, the Phoenix is dominant.
Freaking Joshua's.
Joshua's Phoenix is dominant.
Well, so I remember us playing back in the day. You mentioned you were big on the white and blacks, right?
Yes, I was. I liked them.
I was always big on the green decks. I loved
green
the green
too.
deck.
Now, don't get me wrong. The ones that I disliked the most actually was red. Those were the most annoying. But I like
those were
green
the ones
if I was not.
I like the reds. I like the reds and the greens, the earthy stuff, right?
I'll do the greens and the blues. Or the green and white.
Greens and blues, or the green and white. Well, the plains, right? The holy stuff, the holy deck.
I always loved plains. Plains
Well,
were one of
I
my
was a
favorites.
big green and red. You what?
Plains was one of my favorites in the whole thing, because I mean I had a few really good plains cards, but I also liked blues and green. I don't know. It's hard to say my favorite.
Anyway, it just depends. They've all changed since then, but I like where green's going because it's always been my favorite. The deck green has always been my favorite.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about this. This is the pre-release now. We haven't seen all the cards yet, but this is some of the announcements that are out, and man, I'm liking what I'm seeing right now.
Dude, it's
It
great.
makes me want to go out and get some stuff and start playing again.
I know, but they're just mind you, it will be an expensive deck. There's a lot of people playing.
Right.
You can get the Japanese version for cheaper. However, those are going, it's not like you're sacrificing value because those are going to be just as expensive eventually. I mean, guaranteed
That's right.
I mean, they'll be slightly cheaper, maybe. However, they're still good to purchase if you can read Japanese or if you're just collecting. Anyway,
I don't know if you're
yeah,
just collecting.
if you're
I
going
don't
for
know.
play, get a translator, Google Translate.
That's right. Hey, now they have the Google Translates on the screen,
you
right?
just
So you just
show
take
it
a
right
picture of it,
over
and
it, and then boom.
there you go. It'll tell you what
Damn.
it is. Thank you, technology.
Thank you,
Well, I'm
tech.
excited about this. You
Yeah,
guys look into it. If you're a big Magic fan, something to
right.
really be excited about.
That's right.
I think you're going to see a big surge in the play on this
There we
one,
go.
particularly kind of like the Lord of the Rings. There's a big
Kind of.
surge in the play there. It was just fun. The deck building, if you've never had a chance to do it and you're into this kind of card playing games,
Yeah,
try it. It's an even playing field out there because everyone gets an unknown deck,
that's right.
new abilities, and they have to be challenged with putting these things together. A lot of strategy involved, and
That's
a
right.
little bit of luck based on what you're pulling.
A lot of luck.
So,
Are you kidding? A lot of luck.
a lot of luck, yeah. Yeah, a lot of luck. And you and I go to this darn pre-release, and you and I hit the both of the top cards.
Right? I got the One Ring, and
Remember
you
that?
get the Orcus
You get the One Ring,
Bowmaster.
and I get the Orcus Bowmaster.
I couldn't
All these
believe
kids
that.
are like, "Oh my gosh,
How did you do that? It's like, I'm just better than him
I don't know."
because I got the better card.
Yeah, let me pull this horseshoe right on there. All right, there it is. So moving
Anyway.
on to the updates. So that's our Magic World right now for the time being,
Are
but
geeking
look
out.
for more to come on that one.
That's right.
So for the updates, let's touch on the NBA real quick.
Okay.
We have the Pacers and
Dude,
the Thunder.
Pacers, extremely
Okay.
cool finish, dude. And I didn't even get to watch that game, but Halliburton at the 0.3 second time,
I mean,
got the
wow.
win or just what? Yeah.
I know, and here's and I'll be truthful about this. I was watching the game and I turned it off because I was like,
You were
this is
that guy.
runaway.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, you were that guy.
I was not into either team. I'm not a big fan of either,
Sure.
and I was, I was pulling on the Knicks to win. So I was like, I don't really want the Pacers to win. Just because I was pulling on the Knicks. I wanted to see
kind of
the
want the
Knicks.
Pacers. That's who I'm going for is the Pacers because the guy I work with, Austin, is from Indiana.
That's right. You mentioned that.
So like, I'm going for the Pacers. And I mean,
well,
yeah,
epic comeback. I mean, because I turned it off because it was a runaway, man. At one point, it was 20-point lead. I was like, jeez, this is getting uninterested. So I turned it off. And then next thing you know, I see the sport update.
Right? He didn't even score that many points that game. Like, wasn't even a top lead scorer, but he was the clutch scorer. That was crazy. So
honestly, the thing I like about the Pacers, the thing I like to see about the Pacers, the point dispersion across the board is it's so equal. I mean,
it's
14, 14, 16,
right
14. I mean, that's crazy distribution of points. So versus like a heavily weighted player.
If you're SGA boy, you're the MVP, you're gonna be putting up them 38 points. Big shout out. I mean, that's why he's MVP. I mean,
he is.
And I was wondering, dude,
player.
I didn't see the game. Did he go out or something? Because he only had, I guess he had 24 minutes of play. Wonder what happened to him. I need to look into that. Because he had what,
I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention like to all the different players. I was just kind of had it in the background there watching it and just like, man, I was just as I mentioned, I'm not really like a huge fan of either of these teams, so I just kind of had it just to follow.
That was exciting. We got more games to come, but I mean, really, Edmonton got the first win in overtime there, and they are leading right now going into the second period. So right now it is exciting, and it's going to remain exciting throughout because I mean it is back and forth, answer and response.
3-2.
It's just gonna right now 3-2 Oilers
in the first period.
First
That's
period.
Awesome.
I know. This is going to be great.
That's some active.
Final score 9-8
right there.
Don't know who's going to have it, but 9-8.
Right.
No.
What's the over on this? Oh my gosh, that's going to be crazy.
Actually, I don't know what is the over on this. That's kind of.
I have not a clue.
What was the over on this? Because I mean,
whatever it was, it's solid.
It's too low. I hope everyone took the over on it. No, I can't. Hold on. Well, anyway, I can't find it real quick.
Well, I was in Denver, just got back, right? Now we were watching the game, which is why I wasn't paying attention too much. I was at a bar, so there's a lot of stuff going on. But just watching it, I ended up talking.
By the way, go ahead. 9.5.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh wow. Yeah, you kind of expected this high score.
Mhm.
Jeez. So, in talking with my family and friends out there, I was talking. One of their friends owns Mile High Collectibles out there,
Mhm.
and they were talking about some of the crazy stuff that they commissioned for sales. And one of the things they commissioned was this. It's actually the largest unopened retro boxes in
Vintage
history.
box.
Vintage, retro, vintage. Yeah, sorry, need my terminology, but. So the vintage boxes is the largest in history. And what happened was, is this person called him and was like, I went into my Nana's attic and she had all of these boxes literally laying in the attic everywhere.
That's the
All
find
these
of the
types of boxes.
century, dude. That's the
It's
find of like.
insane. Okay, this is gonna blow your mind. The wrapper, just the wrapper of this thing it could sell for $4,000.
Like the
Just the
wax
wrapper.
the
The
wrapping.
wrapper that the cards are wrapped in. Because
Jesus.
and think about this.
Oh,
It
because
is
it's so new.
no,
Boom.
not because it's so new.
No, because
It's
it's
because
so packaged, so
well, it's
untouched.
packaged, but here's the other part to this that people don't actually realize. Why would a 1920s wrapper be anything? Well, because they're all thrown away. People didn't keep the wrappers.
That's true.
They don't. They would toss them. Why would they hold on to them? And here's the other side of that. A lot of these things were packaged in these tobacco products, right?
Right.
And you weren't guaranteed a baseball card. Sometimes it was a circus card. Sometimes it was like a Ringling Brothers bullshit, right? It's insane. So the actual,
I'd be
the
pissed.
ability to actually hit the card that you wanted was still very slim back then too. So these
I'd be
cards, I
pissed,
mean,
yeah.
but think about it. I'd be pissed.
Get some
What the
circus
hell is this?
peanuts.
A seal balancing a ball on its nose? Ah,
Yeah.
crap. No,
Ringling
but
that.
it's such a cool find. And not only in this find, like you're talking about the 40s, the 50s, all of these Bowman cards that are way back in the day, at this point from anywhere from the 1920s to the 1950s is what they were having, I think is what it was, that
Yeah.
range. And now you're looking for players like Mantles and Ty Cobb
What
and
years?
20s to 50s.
20s to 50s. Yeah, you're looking for Lou Gehrig, Tobb. Like you're looking for
All
all of those.
these huge ones.
Wow.
I mean, could you imagine getting a phone call from somebody being like, "Hey, I found a bunch of cards. What can I do with them?"
Crazy.
But that's insane. I mean, I would be giddy just to go
looking
through
for
that
them
stuff.
George
Honestly.
Hermans.
I
George
mean,
Herman, Babe Ruth, for those who don't know. Those are the top finds, right? But some of those Babe Ruths are, but obviously besides the holy grail of the 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle. Sorry, that one's just
right.
like that one's it.
I mean,
But
iconic, right?
That is. And I have one.
But well, yes, you do. That thing is
I'll show it
beautiful.
later.
Yes, we'll have to show that one because it's a beautiful card. It is a reprint in true form, but it's still.
And why you gotta say that? I was trying to lead them on. You gotta throw out some.
My bad. I don't want people thinking that you're sitting on a darn $400,000 card.
How else we're gonna get them to come back? I mean, I want them to come back and be like, "Oh my god, I'm going to see this 1952 Mickey Mantle."
It's still a good card. Don't downplay it, right? It's still actually a really strong card.
Yeah, it's all
which
right.
you should get it graded because it still has even the cover, the protective cover that you can see on it.
It's been in the cover
right?
since I've had it. It's been in the cover since
I know, but I mean, what I mean by that, they had that thin layer of protective covering that you had to peel off the card.
That was the old foil cards,
like heavily beautiful foil cards, beautiful. Right. And this was made before like the 80s and the 90s of the crap cards.
Right, but they threw that thing that I mean, it's a perfect tin. It's been in the glass ever since I've had it. I mean,
I know.
So
which you should get it legit graded either way, so it can be.
You're right. I probably should. I don't believe
that
one's
thing
ever
needs to
been
be
graded.
encased.
To be quite honest, I'm not sure.
I don't know,
but
I don't think we really got into that.
I'm itching to get to this. What's in the box?
Oh. Before we get to what's the box, I want to task you with something because I've been thinking about it as I was talking. The cool thing with this podcast, I've had a lot of people reach out to tell me about the weird things that they collect. Okay, and cool. While we're trying to keep it odd, we haven't really shown too many real odd things.
No, we haven't.
Pail, yeah, that's a little odd. We had some cool coins.
Some coins.
I want to task you next episode. I want you to bring something odd. I'm going to find something odd, and I want to find some weird stuff that people collect, and I'm gonna go. We're gonna do some dumpster diving. Okay.
Whoa! If it's what I collect, it's definitely not in the dumpster.
Well, some people's trash is another man's treasure. Okay.
Touché. Okay, you got me.
All right.
That's good.
So now moving on to what's in the.
Yeah, what's in the box?
All right, I'm really excited about this because I've been excited about this since they announced the release. In today's series of What's in the Box, we have NFL Midnights, 2 hobby boxes of Midnights. We don't know what's in them, and we want to see. But these guys, when they came out, from talking to some people there, they were loaded with a lot of great stuff, honestly.
Okay.
So this is exciting, and I'll take a minute. I'm gonna have to open these suckers. All right, here we go. Opening this bad boy. I always love opening a bag. I always love the sound of an opened plastic to get over here to the middle.
Yep.
Let's see
what we got. All right, what's in the box? How many cards come in?
Oh, look at these things.
How many cards come?
Look at this. It comes no.
Oh, that's kind of
The hobby box only has just a few.
Holy crap. It's one deck.
Right? I know. This is one pack.
Okay.
Right?
Let's see this.
So this is why we got 2.
I legit thought that we had more than that. Like I thought there was more than that. I thought there was at like 8.
These are very similar to like the Inceptions or the Origins cards, where it's high risk, high reward. I mean, look at how beautiful these are.
Those are pretty. I mean, just the box is pretty, and it comes in a nice little cool. I always love it when they package like that. But when you're paying that much for the daggone cards, it better package like that. You know, just like my Origins or Inception. Those are the ones that always package. Like I love those packaging.
Oh,
yeah.
I can just feel it though. That's a little thick.
Is it?
I like that. Yeah, it's a little thick.
Get the thick one later. Get the thick one.
Thick one's gonna be last. All right, let's see what we got. All right, these are beautiful cards.
I feel it, Jaden.
Oh my gosh, these are so pretty.
Whoa, those are cool. Those are cool.
Yeah, look at that bad boy. I mean, these are just pretty cards. They've got almost like that mirror reflecting. We got Brendan Rice, wide receiver, my man. Oh, hold on. So this is one of the base cards, right? This is just your base. Starts out with the base.
Pretty cool.
Guess what we just got here? All right, let's see here. Oh my gosh, we got Kurt Warner signature.
Okay.
Of 99.
Nice.
Nice little quarterback there. Number 13.
Dang right.
Boy. How about a Hakeem Nicks?
Cool.
Huh? Yeah. Hakeem Nicks right there, auto.
Is it numbered? Either one numbered.
Kurt Warner was numbered, but Hakeem Nicks is not.
Yeah, it's pink.
Then we have the Stroke of Midnight. This is a nice card here. We got Jatavion Sanders.
That's okay.
Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
Man, this is a beautiful card. These things are pretty. Oh, this is cool. These are the ones I was looking for too. The Consolations. We got Drew Brees and Archie Manning.
Now that is cool, dude. I like it.
That is pretty.
I wish that was auto. Man, that would be
dude.
Cool
that would be a sick auto right there.
Yeah, it would.
I get a lot of this guy. The Midnight Keon Coleman.
What's it?
It's a midnight numbered to 99.
Yeah, Okay.
Keon Coleman.
Rookie card right there, right?
Yeah. Yo, like who did I tell you it was loaded with? These tops. Who are they loaded with? What? No. Well, I said that earlier today, but before I think I told you, I was like, they've put a lot of Michael Vick.
Yeah, Michael Vick.
Dude, I wish it was some. Don't get me wrong. I do like Mike Vick. 12 of 12. Lunar.
Oh, 12 of 12. I wish it was 7 of 7.
I know. Right? That would be worth a lot more if it was 7, but still, a 12 of 12
card, dude. That's a cool
look
card.
At that. That's a beautiful card.
Oh,
that's pack 1. All right, let's go on to pack 2 here. I'm sorry, I saw the back of this one, and I'm really excited about it. Huh?
Saying, speaking of Michael Vick,
what about him?
Played against him in the high school.
Yes, we did. I can say that I've sacked Mike Vick twice.
Michael Vick.
I've sacked Mike. I personally have sacked him twice.
Right, I know. I'm saying that we were so I know it's a bad taste.
We were the defensive ends.
We called the Twin Towers.
Right.
Now in hindsight, that's when they, rest in peace. But we were called the Twin Towers, and we were the bookends on the defensive ends, and we got to sack. And I only got him once, but that was only in the first half. I will say this, timeout. I got to say this because Michael Vick, shout out to him. However, because he was insane. And what did he do? They beat us. Oh no, this was the Ronald Curry time. This was the Ronald Curry.
You were thinking of Ron Curry and Hampton.
Ron Curry.
Which
never mind.
Them scoreless. Only team that's
right.
Area.
That's right.
For that time period to hold Hampton scoreless the first half. However,
and then they beat us,
destroyed
us. What was it?
52 to nothing.
It was 7. We got 7 points. We got 7.
Okay, we got
it was
one
like
touchdown.
52 or 62. to 7
It was
in one
ridiculous. It was
half.
so stupid,
In
dude.
one half. Okay.
We just got deflated.
Continue on.
We went in
Let's see.
pumped, and it's like, all right, we're done here.
Oh,
We
no,
did
we
our
came into the locker room like,
nailed it. We were so psyched.
That was against Ron
man.
Curry. That's right. I remember that.
Yeah,
Crazy.
he was actually had more press than Mike Vick at the time.
In high school, he had a better arm. I mean, I think Ron Curry could have been a better player, a better quarterback, had he gone to UVA instead of UNC. But whatever, at the time.
Okay. Different time. Different time.
Let's go.
All right, we've got Michael Hall Jr., defensive tackle.
Base card.
Base card.
All right.
Pretty card. All right. Now we've got an auto. Bucky Irving.
Nice card, dude. Nice one.
Of 75.
Nice one. That's a good one.
That's a nice card.
That's a nice one. That's pretty, too. I like it.
That is.
Of 75.
Right there.
Nice.
Yes.
Bucky Irving's a good one.
The Stroke of Midnight. We've got Dexter Manley.
Okay.
All
right.
Throwback.
Base.
Little skins action there. We got a Michael Hall Jr. auto.
Of base.
Shoot.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
What'd you get?
Thought it was it's okay, so Nightball, which is a short card. I thought it was the black. I was looking for the 1 of 1. It's a Blake Corum, but it's the Nightball.
Another good card. Man,
the Nightball. That's the Midnight Nightball. I want to say those are
up, right?
I do got to look that one up. Go ahead and look at Topps website.
Yep.
Man, I got a lot of the Archie Mannings.
Oh, nice. Okay. I like Archie.
Here's another Archie Manning of 50.
Cool.
Midnight. Look at that. That is just a pretty card, man.
It really is.
And lastly, one of my favorites here. Nothing like Bo Jackson, baby.
Of 75.
5.
Nice.
Right there.
Nice.
But man, I tell you, these cards are just beautiful.
What was
That's an exciting pack, huh?
What was
We've got the Nightball from Midnight Nightball.
Nightball. What was it? The black light? Or which light was it?
It's the Midnight.
Yeah, so Midnight 1 in 116.
Okay.
So it's a short print-ish, right?
Yes, it is. That's considered a short print.
That is.
So that's, I guess Blake Corum. I mean, at least it's a rookie case hit there.
Yeah, that is Midnight. So I'm sorry, that is 1 of 116. So yeah, that's a short print. I'm looking at all the odds for everything else. That is on the harder to get. Yes, absolutely.
Right, but I was looking for like the neon or the Really, there's
the black light is what you want. You want the black light. The black light is 1 in 1,329 or 39.
That's because it's the 1 of 1. Okay. So the black light, they'll say that's the odds of getting that card, but that's because it's a 1 of 1.
Is the 1 of 1. Daybreak is the next one down, and then Midnight is the next one down. Got it.
Nice. Okay. So still a short print.
And then Witching Hour, Consolation Witching Hour.
Witching Hour, that's the one I like.
Witching Hour is the one that's like next in line. That one's a good one. Okay, got you. Dude, I love how Top shows the odds. I love it.
I do too. And frankly, these cards are so pretty. And like, so the challenge with Origins, like Panini Origins, that's on the same level right here.
Yeah.
Is when you pull these out of Origins, they're beautiful cards, but the ink is so delicate. It's almost like as soon as you touch it, it starts to fade, and you'll see the white coming showing through. So then it doesn't grade out. I have tons of Origin cards, and I cannot ever get a 10 out of any of them. I've sent a couple of them in, and they always come back as either a 9 or 8. These cards, same quality as far as how thick they are, but they've got this hard cover on the outside to where, I mean, they're beautiful. This thing right here is perfect. Not a dent, not a scratch, not a color fade, not a drag, not a dimple. This is beautiful. So this will grade out perfectly. I'm sending these guys in, and especially something like this, that thing is perfect. And I like that they have the harder outer face, so that way it protects it a little bit more. So it's like built in for protection. Anyway, well, that's exciting. I like this stuff,
Okay, giggity.
All right, well, that's what we have for this in the What's in the Box series. That's what we have for today.
That's what we
look forward to next week. What's that?
That's what we have.
Yeah.
And then we got a task
That's
for
what we
next
have.
week. So I'll bring something that we pick. Yep. So we got to pick up something that we think is odd enough. And also for everyone out there, please subscribe, tell your friends, show your friends, share it. Please like it, do something with some type of interaction that we know you're there. And you can leave in the comments, please, something that you want to talk about. Also, like some thimble collection or spoons, or I don't care, whatever it might be.
Yeah, that could be anything.
That you have a question about.
Salt shakers, like we've heard, right? But we want to hear it. I mean, we want to try and find some of those odd things out there. I want to hear some strange stuff that you guys collect and what you're into. But next week, look for that odd thing. I want to see something good from you, man.
Yep, I got you.
But yeah,
we'll see what
until next week.
Until next week.